Alright, folks, sorry about that. My wife called, and her and I had to talk. I don't remember exactly where I left off, but basically, everyone deserves their day in court. Now, there was a court date where I was involved helping a buddy of mine. He was accused of domestic violence. I was there as a character witness, and I ended up not being called, so I was kind of there to handle his affairs if he was found guilty, because it would have meant a little bit of jail time. Well, I had heard his side of the story, I had heard the other person's side of the story, and I knew someone was lying. There was another person that was there that seen everything that happened and testified in his favor. So he ended up being found not guilty. Now, I have some issues with the legal system, but everybody deserves their day in court. This cost him a boatload of cash to get this figured out. Well, the reason why I'm saying all this is I think that Donald Trump deserves his day in court when it comes to these affidavits and allegations. This is my opinion, I don't believe, based on historic recount data, that there's going to be enough impropriety found to swing a state, much less the election. But I do think that investigators have the obligation to dive through all the allegations, for the simple fact that whoever is president in January on Inauguration Day deserves to have a presidency that doesn't have a cloud hanging over its head. For example, the Trump-Russia collusion thing that was investigated and bandied about for a number of years, and the gist of the Mueller report ended up stating that that while Russia likely attempted to interfere in our election, there was no way that they swapped ballots or colluded with the Trump campaign. So my opinion is that, and even if you voted for Joe Biden and suppose he's the next president, wouldn't you want your guy in office to have call it a clean win under his belt, instead of one shrouded in controversy and doubt? I wish that the Russia investigation would have happened way sooner, in order to either prove that Donald Trump did what they said that he did, or dispel the myths about it. So, that's my opinion. I think that anyone that doesn't want the questions about the 2020 election answered is being politically biased and dishonest about their motives and their thought processes. Look, I didn't vote for either presidential candidate. I voted Libertarian because I thought that out of all the years that a Libertarian candidate had a distinct possibility of getting into political office, in my estimation, I was wrong. They carried higher votes, but there was record turnout this year. So they carried, I think the biggest state they carried was like 1.5%, maybe 2%. So, not a huge percentage of votes heading their way. But whoever's president, I don't want there to be another Mueller type deal hanging over their neck their whole presidency. So everyone deserves their day in court. Let this Trump thing pan out. When some of you may not remember the 2000 election, Bush versus Gore, that was I'm coming over. I'm running out of lane here, buddy. That was an absolute mess. And what that was over was a bad design on the paper ballots. So Florida ended up holding up the results of the election for 38 days, I think. And Florida was the determining state. And there was several recounts and a Supreme Court ruling and all sorts. I'm not getting into all that. But so sure, this is uncomfortable and not normal, but it's not unprecedented. So whatever the legal proceedings are here, so long as it's laws that are on the books, not someone writing something out of nothing and just passing executive orders, whether it's a state, a county, or the president, so long as everyone's playing by the rules, let the rules work, let things happen the way they're supposed to happen. And like I said, I don't think Trump's got a prayer at winning the presidency. I really don't. Because he'd have to overturn 150,000 votes in Michigan. He'd have to overturn, 20,000 in Georgia, and like 14,000 in Arizona, and 30,000 in Pennsylvania. I don't know the counts, but several thousand votes. And the majority of the time on recounts, you find votes that are improperly tabulated in the hundreds. So I don't think he's going to pull out a win, but let it happen. Find out what happened. Stay tuned. So that's what I got. Y'all, thanks for tuning in. I'll catch you next time. Stay safe. See ya.